Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Football Premier Podcast. നമ്മുടെ യൂഷ്വൽ ഗെയിം വീക്ക് റിവ്യൂ സെഷന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് നമ്മുടെ ജോയിൻ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത് ശ്യാം ആൻഡ് ബാല ഫോർ വാട്ട് ഹാസ് ടേൺ ഔട്ട് ടു ബി എ വെരി സാറ്റിസ്ഫൈങ് ആൻഡ് റിലീവിംഗ് ഗെയിം വീക്ക് 10. ബേസിക്കലി മൂന്ന് ഗെയിമാണ് നമ്മൾ കവർ ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത്. ത്രീ ഓഫ് ദ ബിഗ് ഗെയിംസ് ഇൻ ഗെയിം വീക്ക് 10. ഫസ്റ്റ് ദ ലണ്ടൻ ഡാർബി, Tottenham versus Chelsea. Tottenham away at Chelsea. Shyam Bala, in some way it was the clash of the heavyweights this season. വേണമെങ്കിൽ പറയാം, കാരണം two teams that have been consistently pecking at the top of the table. Clashed and the top, I mean the top position was there for taking. In fact, and I would say ഒരു typical Mourinho performance ആണ് നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ കിട്ടിയത്. What is your take on the game to begin with?
Yeah, see, Mourinho was set up not to lose, എന്താണ് ടാമി അബ്രഹാം was set up not to win. സോ അതായിരുന്നു പരിപാടി. ടാമി അബ്രഹാം ചുമ്മാ ഫ്രണ്ടിൽ പോയി കളിക്കാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് എല്ലാം കൂടെ തോട്ടി കളഞ്ഞു. ഒരുമാതിരി വൃത്തികെട്ട പരിപാടിയായിരുന്നു. സോ ആക്ച്വലി ടാമി അബ്രഹാമിന്റെ പൊസിഷനിൽ വെർണറുടെ പൊസിഷനിൽ ജിറൂഡ് ആയിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ കളിയുടെ gone a different way. So
yeah, I mean surprisingly, at least ഈ ഗെയിമിൽ I would have expected Giroud to feature more than how much Abraham had featured. കാരണം you know the way that Mourinho, I mean Lampard especially knows the way that Mourinho is going to set his team up for such a game. So what did you expect?
Yeah, I mean formation tactics, everything was എന്താ പറയാ typical away game അല്ലായിരുന്നു. Typical Mourinho away game. It was two midfielders, two holding midfielders എന്നല്ല, midfielders who are in a holding position, and then two attackers who are feeding off second balls, and one attacker who is ready to hold the ball up. അതങ്ങനെ നോക്കിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ he was looking to find opportunities between the attacks, and Chelsea for some reason they were attacking, but they were looking for individual brilliance rather than a team game. They were looking at CH or Mason Mount or somebody to deliver, or Werner to deliver, rather than a team game which was set up particularly to frustrate or even not frustrate, at least attack the Tottenham, the setup, the way they have set up.
Yeah,
they didn't even stress them that much.
Shyam Barra correct on the way that when we look at the average positions that Tottenham players occupied in that, especially particularly the first half, Kane'ും Bergwijn'ും സെന്റർ സർക്കിളിന്റെ മുകളിൽ ആ രണ്ട് പ്ലേയേഴ്സ് മാത്രമേ ഫീച്ചർ ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളൂ. And if you look at Dyer and Rodon, they were pretty much close to Lloris. So Werner, in fact, in my opinion, had the chance to attack that space. Had Abraham pulled Rodon or Dyer away, but if had that been Giroud, he would have done a better job at making those runs and pulling those defenders away. Abraham clearly missed that plan, and Werner never really had a chance. But yeah, end of the day, I think Mourinho would be happy with that point away at Bridge. I mean, you know the way that Mourinho sets his teams up to win the big games in a championship. So, and to be really honest, it wasn't that exciting a game either. I mean, both the teams have had games where they've shown us some good attacking football, but sadly, that was not to be the case this match.
Just how Mourinho like it.
Yeah.
Just how I say, just how Mourinho like his away games to be. Not exciting. Smash and grab if you can, otherwise point is good enough.
Yeah, kind of match പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ Pep can have 80% of the possession and he can take the ball away. I'll take 3 points പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ 1 point എടുത്ത് മുള്ളി സുഖമായിട്ട് തിരിച്ചു പോയിട്ടുണ്ട്. On to the more interesting game. Finally, Pep seems to have his team off the blocks. ബേൺലിനെ എന്താണെന്നറിയില്ല, മാൻസിറ്റിക്ക് കണ്ട ഉടനെ പണ്ട് സുവാരസ് നോർവിച്ചിനോട് കളിക്കുന്ന പോലെയാണ്, അടിച്ച് തെറിപ്പിക്കാനാണ്. ലൈക്ക് ഫയർ റൈറ്റ് ഫ്രം ദ വേർഡ് ഗോ. They seem to hit some good form finally. കാരണം മാൻസിറ്റി ടീമിന്റെ ഒരു എക്സ്പ്ലോസീവ്നെസ് നമ്മൾ ഇതുവരെ ഈ സീസണിൽ കണ്ടിട്ടില്ല, പ്രീമിയർ ലീഗിൽ എസ്പെഷ്യലി. ചാമ്പ്യൻസ് ലീഗ് they still been doing decent. അപ്പോൾ start of something afresh, you think?
I think for that game, Burnley was uncharacteristically naive. If you look at all the Man City goals, see, it was I almost mistook Burnley for Swansea or Leeds or somebody who would usually Burnley bhayangara tight and compact again. They won't leave space behind, or they won't leave space in between the lines and all that. But this was very expansive. Their formation didn't look like they were going to play that expansive. But for some reason, De Bruyne had acres of space the whole game. Riyad Mahrez have the whole freaking box to run into and to shoot the ball into the side netting. It was a very uncharacteristic game from Burnley, first of all. But take nothing away from Man City. They were offered space. They utilized it brilliantly.
What do you say?
Yeah, I think part of it has to do with the fact you don't have somebody like the Pope to marshal the defense.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to
correct. Yeah. I think they missed him.
Yeah, having their second choice goalkeeper who probably doesn't have enough first team minutes probably increased that gap of understanding. So maybe that. But the defending was downright pathetic, and I don't think this is the start of a new dawn because City has their own problems. Even in this game, Gabriel Jesus was showing his true colors. He was direct competition with Tammy Abraham. Like, if you can miss some, I can miss some more.
Particularly De Bruyne a wonderful first time cross. That was as good a tap in as a striker could get. Other than air and Peacock Farrell.
I think if City is going to think that every other opponent is going to like lay down and let them walk over,
no way.
They're in for a rude awakening. Because that's not going to happen. Right. Even teams like Fulham is showing fight now. So
finally,
this was uncharacteristically bad. Yeah, this was uncharacteristically bad on Burnley.
When we covered Leeds before the Premier League started, the segment where we showed Bailey Peacock Farrell's how Leeds had faced shot from the opposition. So Bailey Peacock Farrell Leeds in our kind of season, he had the most amount of shots against. About Leeds, amount of shots when you give the same chance for someone like Man City, they're of course going to punish you left, right, and center. You can't afford that many shots.
Yeah, I was surprised by Saunders' approach to the game. Probably he also wasn't planning on it. But usually how Burnley sets up is like, the first at least 30 minutes, they just hold their box. They just hold compact in their box, right? I mean, this was that was not there. In the first 20-30 minutes itself, Man City was 3-0 up. And if you look at those goals, I wouldn't even expect that from any team, like even one of those attacking teams.
Yeah,
this was Sean Dyche you're talking about.
Mahrez had too much time inside the box. He himself at times was confused. Left on or right on Mahrez.
Kyle Walker to throw in a defender.
Yeah, right. I mean, that you wouldn't expect that.
That's not something you expect.
Particularly from a Burnley side that we're used to seeing Tarkowski and Ben-Mee marshal that defense.
Correct.
You wouldn't expect that from Burnley.
It was really bad.
And then he danced around the box all the way across the box and then shoot the goal.
Mahrez had too much time even after he received the ball.
I mean, even the third goal also, De Bruyne, if you look at it, De Bruyne wasn't even marked. Like, he was free to receive the ball. He was free to pick up the cross, and then he found Mendy at the far post. It was kind of like ridiculous. I don't know what happened.
I think it would have been something like a 7-0. De Bruyne woodwork Jesus and Marga missing good it would have been like 7-0.
It would have been 7-0. Yeah. I mean, Man City played well. I think they kept the tempo, even though when Burnley was playing very badly, they still kept the tempo. They played their game. They scored the goal. So credit to them.
One last.
That's not what you expect from Burnley, though.
Game Phil Foden came on as a substitute and had his usual big game impact that he always seems to have when he comes up the bench. Finally, you think Pep is going to start him regularly in the team? Because Premier League, consistently Foden start bench he still seems to be performing well. About time, you think?
Pullikaran complete fraud. You can't expect anything.
About Phil Foden, all I can say is shrug and find like what's happening there. I mean, I think he should be given a good run of games, maybe a 5-6 games run, and then if he's not performing, then put him on the bench or something. But he's usually given one game where he doesn't perform, and then he's out of it straight away, right?
Anyway, seems to be. We'll see if this form that City has maybe gained is there to stay or not. On to the one fixture that brings us smiles in for this game week. One comeback, too many, but no, not for sure. United finally seem to have found something, some way to win. Uh, Before we get to the sweeter part of the half, first half, United weren't that bad. To be honest, we had a couple of really gilted chances. One was where Mason Greenwood, like even after rounding the keeper, he put the ball away from the near post, and the second was one where Bruno Fernandes had a near point blank chance that McCarthy did well to save. About half time, like 2-0. When you're 2-0 down after such a performance, you expect the team morale to be absolutely like down. I think the hair dryer seems to have worked. Like,
See,
Yeah, I don't know if it was hair dryer or probably like, go do the same thing again. You should be, I don't know what he talked about, but, there is a slight change in the mentality. What I'm thinking is like, if you're 2-0 down before, we were pretty down and dusted because our first choice players were playing. Marshall was not available. So talking about second choice strikers, we were talking about Giroud, we were talking about Gabriel Jesus. The only option that Solskjaer had was to bring on Cavani. And, again, I don't know if it's a comeback too many, whether it's all fortune, but he was ridiculously good. His movement was ridiculously good. I mean,
even if you leave the two goals aside, the first goal and the assist that he gave to Bruno was in fact quite composed. I mean, you would expect everyone to try and hit the far post near the keeper, but clearly behind the defender on a pass. So he has that the knowledge sticks out, right? When you have that amount of experience and that footballing brain, it kind of sticks out. It always has to. The other thing is, I think first half we could have done a couple of things better. Both the instances we did end up conceding the goal. Ward Prosnap, a player, when you have in the opposition, you should be extra careful not to give away those cheap fouls, especially close to the box. And I think Fred was the one who fouled. That gave the free kick that led to a second goal. So United are even the first goal. I think near post had a header beaten. I think
correct.
A couple of things
that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, that balls. I think there is still a lot of opportunity for us to improve. I think in terms of conceding goals.
Yeah, defending set pieces. I don't think we are that well drilled. We are really quite poor. I think each defender looks at the other as if I thought that was your assignment, Voleana. Mostly when you're defending corners and dead balls. So dead ball situation, I think, has to improve.
Yeah, I think I noticed that too. I mean, in the dead ball situation, we were kind of like the old Klopp way of defending. I don't know if it was Klopp or Rodgers who introduced zonal marking in corners, right?
Yeah,
I think we were pretty much like that. We were flooding the 6-yard box and in and around De Gea when we know that De Gea is not comfortable with bodies around him. So I don't know why we try to do that. And then again, all the near post, the people who were covering near post was Bruno Fernandes and Rashford and not Maguire
when you defend a corner, the first thing that first people you usually put your best headers are the opposition defenders. Westergaard വരുന്ന സമയത്ത് you put Rashford to mark Bednarek, and that too at the near post when you have like your Maguires and Lindelofs who are maybe supposedly better at heading, just standing there with no people to mark. When you have someone with the dead ball quality of Ward-Prowse, you are asking for danger. And I think
so marking zonal on a corner is fine, but at the near post you always have your best header. Even if not your best header, your third best header or second best header at the near post. Like if you look at it, the second half when we got corners, Cavani was covering the near post.
Yeah,
because we know that he has the height, he was the one clearing it out from there.
Normally, I would think if you do not have McTominay, you put Matic in that position. You have the height.
Correct. That's what I would think. Your third best heading person or your third best header or your second best person should be there.
See, the thing
or
that
even Wan-Bissaka would have sufficed. Wan-Bissaka should have sufficed. He's 6. What is he? 6, at least 6'1", 6.
No,
he should be there around, right?
I mean, you should be able to. Players who are 6 feet tall. Even Lindelof, Maguire, Pogba, Pogba, of course. But Matic, we have too many 6 feet plus players. So I think that should not have been Rashford or Bruno at the near post. But
I think. To me, the big thing that kind of helped us with the comeback was the fact that even though Southampton was 2-0 up, right? They had nobody in their midfield to kind of stamp their authority down and shut things down. They left it open. They left it open for us to keep countering. They still played a high line, and it was quite naive, I felt.
I believe what worked better for us, in my opinion, is, I mean, Ward-Prowse and Romeo have been brilliant for Saints all through the season in the center of the midfield. But United played a diamond. So in the midfield, always we had 4/2 against them. So we ran their midfield left, right in the second half particularly. So they never really got the ball. So Hasenhuttl ആ ഒരു strategy did not counter ചെയ്തില്ലാത്തതുകൊണ്ടാണ് we still ended up getting the chances that we did in the game.
And part of the players,
and I think Fred played a real good game. Fred was the star of the match. Fred had an excellent game.
For me.
I mean, distribution island, tracking back island, Fred was really immense in that midfield for us. Like no two ways.
And also, simply for not being Pogba, Van de Beek was immense. He was, and not just joking. He was actually very smart with his distribution, snuffing out danger early. He was really good.
You can see it from the way he receives the ball. He lays it off. He moves into free spaces. The guy has no.
I think the thing is, like, that's what everybody is asking Pogba to do. It's just do the simple things right. Just pick up the ball, look up, play the ball, move around, and that's it, right? I mean, just a bit of work rate. I mean, even if you look at Cavani versus Martial, what we have been telling about Martial is, like, your movement inside the box. We know that you are a player who likes the ball at your feet rather than running around for the ball. But if you look at Cavani's movement versus Martial's movement, it's exact same thing that Pogba versus Van de Beek.
Yeah, I mean, talking about Cavani's movement, both the goals, I think, were manufactured because of that very skill that he has in timing his move right, in getting into the positions right. Even apart from the two goals, there was one chance where his header narrowly missed the post. Even Adilim, the movement was pretty damn good.
Right.
One thing that stood out for me, last goal, I don't know if you've noticed, now, but Istanbul Dembaba അടിച്ച goal and the other one that we considered off the corner was where നമ്മുടെ defensive shape was completely non-existent per se. The last minute free kick, you could see, if you notice, take a look closely, Matic was clearly arranging folks, asking Wan-Bissaka to stay on the line. Maguire went up, Lindelof went up, and it sort of seemed to be intuitive, but it sort of seemed to be a plan where Rashford matram on the left wing, you would expect last minute free kick, the opposite team expects you to like tonk the ball into a center towards your center half, and everybody went to block them. Rashford was free, Bruno played it to him. Kind of a good cross. I mean, it was a good cross. It was not like loopy. It was fast paced. So then Bednarek in the position, okay, Cavani timed his run to perfection. One look at him, Bednarek thought he had his measure, but then the next moment Cavani was ahead of him, and that actually is not an easy skill to pull off. Like when you're running from the far post to the near post, you're winning the header and you're directing it to the near post to finish. A kind of brilliant goal to win the match.
I mean, he's a talented footballer, right? I mean, he's scored bucket loads of goals everywhere. He's a talented footballer. In my opinion, right now, based on form, he should start ahead of Martial in this form.
Right. And the other thing, right? I don't think I've seen as smart mover inside the box since we had Chicharito. So this is probably the smartest movement off the ball that I have seen after that. So it was, refreshing, welcome change.
Yeah.
He's a pure number 9 kind of movement.
For all the excitement and relief that the United fans have had seeing that match, there are still defensive frailties that we do need to address to make sure this run sort of continues. So let's hope we do. I think we've covered the 3 matches for game week 10, hoping for a good result at home to the travelling Paris side in the Champions League fixture tonight. Here's Shyam, Bala and Jitin signing off as usual. Do watch our content. We are a passionate group of folks who love watching football, who eat, breathe and sleep football. We are here every week finding time just to discuss what we know about the game and we want to share with you. So Kanuga, like, share, subscribe, spread the word. Do comment if you have any feedback for us. Do join our fantasy football mini league. That is link for which is given in the bio. And see you guys in the next week. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.